Okay, this is lesson 41, and it's adding and subtracting fractions that have a common denominator. So it's really not hard, but let's use our Legos to help us. So example 1 says use your fraction manipulatives to illustrate this addition. Here's my fraction manipulatives. So I've got 2/4 plus 1/4. So I always want to know what my whole amount is. So here's my whole, 4/4. Okay, and it says I have 2/4 plus 1/4. How many fourths do I have? 1, 2, 3. 3/4. So 2/4 plus 1/4 is 3/4. And 2 plus 1 is 3. And just keep the denominator the same, right? Okay, so they have a common denominator. They all have fourths as their denominator. In this next one, we're still going to do the same denominator, common denominator, but we're going to subtract. So here's my one whole, and there's 10 little parts. So they say I have 7/10, and I'm going to take away 4/10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We don't need those. Okay, so I have 7/10, and I'm going to take away 1, 2, 3, 4. So what's left over? 3/10. Well, what's 7 minus 4? 3. And my denominator stays the same. So you don't subtract the denominator, you just subtract the numerators if you have a common denominator. So that's pretty easy, right? Let's look at example 3. Bak Yen mixed 1 1/4 cups of juice concentrate with 1 2/4 cups of water. Find the total amount of juice by adding 1/4 and 1 2/4. Okay, so let's get those out of the way. We're gonna say there's 1 and there's a 1/4. And there's 1 and there's 2/4. So let's see what we have all together. Let's move them around. 1, 2, and 3/4, right? 1, 2, 3. So you add your whole numbers, and then you add your fractions. You may have to go back and fix it up a little bit if your fractions become improper. But for that one, you don't have to. So 1, 2, and 3/4. Okay. Example 4 says there are 2½ chicken pot pies in the refrigerator. So we're going to use the book for this one. I tried to draw little circles on the last one. Boy, I don't have to draw circles well. There were 2½ chicken pot pies in the refrigerator. Tupac ate 1½ pot pies. To find the number of pot pies left, subtract 2½ minus 1½. Okay, so that's how much is in the refrigerator originally. How much did Tupac eat? He ate this one and he ate this one. He ate 1½. So what's left over? Just that one, right? So he ate those 2 and 1 is left over. So let's subtract our fractions first, just in case we need to make them. I always like to write my mixed number problems vertically instead of horizontally. I just think it makes it much easier. And I like to divide it into the fraction side and the whole number side. So let's do the fraction side first. What's 1/2 minus 1/2? Nothing. So I have 0 halves. What's 2 minus 1? 1. And if I have 0 of something, I don't have to worry about it. So I have 1 left over, right? Okay. Example 5 says Federico estimates it will take 2½ hours to finish reading a book and 1½ hours to write a book report. To find the total amount of time he needs to finish the assignment, add 2½ plus 1½. Okay, so I'm going to write it 2½, 1½, divide it, add them up. What's 1/2 plus 1/2? 1 whole, right? So can I put a 0 here and carry the 1 whole into the whole numbers over here? Sure. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 wholes and 0 halves, right? If I wanted to, I kind of skipped a step. 2 and 1, 1/2, 1/2. What's 1/2 plus 1/2? 2 halves. Is that the same thing as 1 whole? Yes. So 3 and 2 halves is the same thing as 4, right? That'll take a little practice, but not a whole lot. I think you'll be able to get it pretty quickly. All right, remember if you're adding mixed numbers or subtracting mixed numbers, write it up and down instead of across, and it'll make it much easier for you. All right, good luck.